Oh, you want to purge the world of evil, save everyone's soul. Well, it's a good dream. Some, however, won't be saved. Konnichiwa. Ichijo Reiko here for Gameology. Today we're looking at characters I've encountered in my career. Not all of them, but you get a front row seat to the ones I like. Ones that have had some impact on my 20+ years in wrestling. Arya Stark. Game of Thrones. Like most of the world, I was a fan. Huge fan of Arya. Maisie Williams. Unlike most of the world, I didn't rage when it ended. So when the opportunity presented itself to wrestle who was, ostensibly, Arya, cosplay wrestling and whatnot, I was in. Asuka Kazama. Tekken. We both actually have similar personalities, I think. I might not be rushing off getting into fights, or have some heiress troll who wants to sleep with me. I certainly don't have some evil killing mysticism. Maybe we're not that alike, but it's there. Think she's more of a hothead than I am. Plantagenet. Kansas Wrestling Alliance. French Giantess. They let her use a basketball gimmick, rather than the obvious female Andre. You do a lot with her in the ring with Aya's height, size, athleticism. She can follow, be taught. She needs to know how to step up and lead. Blood Rain from... Well, Blood Rain. I haven't actually seen it, played it. I probably should. No wonder Michelle Rodriguez slept with her. A hot skin, tight leather wearing Nazi-killing vampire. What's to hate? Brittany Anderson. Full Metal Wrestling. Former Air Force pilot, she worked with Daisuke Karichi to find a fitting gimmick so good on her for being able to do that. Working with her, she could easily play a monster heel, and her wrestling style. That's a key word. She has a fighting background. Is of a wrestling monster. This may sound like the pot and the kettle. Does she try too hard to act like this vicious, evil biker? Buffy Summers. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I love Buffy. Hate what she's put through. Badass girl who makes vampires scared shitless. But should I like that? Geek culture because the geeks in it are monsters?
Should I watch Buffy? Angel? Not Dollhouse, that's creepy. Because of what Joss Whedon did? Maybe that's getting political?
Cameron Phillips. Terminator, the Sarah Connor Chronicles. I don't know her. I only saw the first 3 films. We did do that cosplay wrestling in 2016, and it did really well, so I probably should see it. Cammy White, Street Fighter. I know her enough to know she's meant to be a really big deal. She's stacked. She's jacked. We're talking muscle, so absolutely good for her. We were able to team up, do what we wanted. She had the strength to put me where she wanted, where I needed safely. How Cammy gets away with some of what she wears, I don't know. I think that green leotard is illegal in some states, borderline nudity. Think I answered my own question. Carlita, the Reaper Francesca. Florida Panhandle, mixed martial arts. Carlita runs a bar now, but she was in the Army Rangers. She taught the hostage rescue team, SWAT. Big into mixed martial arts. Real pro, will sit down and talk in detail with anyone who wants to listen. Like me, and my interests. Those interests being wrestling, cars. Wrestling. Carlita wrestled matches, took part in matches for a few years.
Claire Redfield. Resident Evil. I love me some Claire. Love me some Resident Evil. Which may as well be renamed Good Girls Kick Ass, cause that's what it is. Allison Court, Axeman. She's the best, but anyone playing Claire is great.
Diva, Overwatch. I only know Diva from the awesome bodysuit she wears. Eva-style bodysuit she wears. Diva's supposed to be a Korean cop or mecha pilot. When I got her in the ring for that cosplay multiverse wrestling, she was real cooperative. If she wanted the attention, she could look to wrestling for it. Dawn Summers, Buffy, the Vampire Slayer. I don't know about hashtag we are Dawn, but she's what, 14 years old, and on the Hellmouth, give her a break. And she's played by the cute as a button Michelle Trachtenberg, who James Marsters had a massive crush on. Might sound bad given context today. I still think it was cute. Faith Connors, Mirror's Edge. I haven't played the games. She's a trosser, the parkour. The sheer athleticism I think would transfer to wrestling really well. Don't know if she actually did. Looks like she did in Catalyst. I won't even go her for stealing my look. Faith Lehane, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. This is the Faith I know. Even if she is a rapist, I love her. Love Eliza Dushku. Hate what the character, the actress, went through. What was done to her. We were robbed of all the goodness we could be enjoying in the roles she could have done. That stunt coordinator. I'd put real effort in how to kill him and get away with it. Gail Kim, All Elite Wrestling. She deserved so much more. To be treated so much better than what World Wrestling Entertainment did. They really dropped the ball with how bad they treated Kim. I see how they treat women like shit. The way they treated Lita, Amy DeMoss. The rape gimmick. How they treated the other women. How Stephanie on screen treats the women with no comeback. Gwen Bowman, Archer. Wing Commander. I don't know who she is. She was created for the cartoon based on the games. Natoli told me when I went to do this project after Battle of Los Santos. She's supposed to be a stand-in for one of the women, I think. Angel. Or Spirit. You'd have to ask Natoli. They showed me a few of her scenes, first nearly telling Biff Tannen to go fuck himself, then tossing him about. Okay? I see you, more chill than the other females. Harlow Jordan, Dead Island. Is it wrong I side with her on dealing with the outbreak? She's this Israeli soldier, works for the World Health Organization. The people behind it all claim she's a terrorist. Bullshit. She's better than Perna. I think Harlow is better than Perna. I like her more. Cian, cliché. And we don't talk about Jin. Huxian, Ace, Combat. So I heard Huxian is the fox spirit of good fortune. A Chinese mythological creature that's a good omen or seduces men. I don't know about that. I do know there's one bit where she's awesome, and when we did a fight for the Fallen event, to honor school shooting victims. When we did the cosplay video game wrestling, we did Huxian, so that's very near and dear to me. Jill Valentine, Resident Evil. The original Jilly Badass, one of the original video game heroes. One of the best, better than Lara Croft. Doesn't matter how bad the game or film she's in is. Doesn't matter. She's a cop. Doesn't matter how they dress her. Doesn't matter how pornographic the things they do to her is. Having her elevates the product. I love her. Judy Key, San Fernando Wrestling League. Okay, let's clear up this mystery. Judy's not my sister. She certainly ain't my daughter. I would fucking know that. She's some girl I came across when the store she worked at was robbed. We look the same. Had the same last name. Weird? And that would be that, except she followed me to where I was staying. Judy knew she was caught up in some type of thing and wanted me to train her up. To be a hero, like she saw me as. Judy lives in a fantasy world. By that, she surrounds herself with comics, games, fiction. It's how she copes, I get it. Should I wake her up from the matrix she built for herself? I'm getting older, maybe softer, more mature. I want to help. It's training her to be a wrestler. June Kazama, Tekken. June absolutely spanks. Playing with yourself, watching what Mina does to her opponents. Let's put it that way. I get the appeal. To me, she's like Japanese kids' first Disney princess. Okay, I see you, Jun. You're doing the Buffy Angel thing. Oh, you want to purge the world of evil, save everyone's soul. Well, it's a good dream. Some, however, won't be saved. Kallian Tabriz, Dragon Age. Dragon Age is part of the reason why I use the medieval or gladiator look in wrestling. The cocky elf voice you can use makes me wish that the warden was fully voiced and not just a few clips. Unpopular opinion. I like the city elf story. Like that, she deals with rapists. I'd like it if it didn't happen, but if it does deal with them in the best way. Why do you think we love Arya? Because she kills rapists. Kallian slaughters rapists. Corinne. Not Karen, Fisher, Full Metal Wrestling. I'm as high as I can possibly be on Corinne Fisher. Because she went from childhood obesity to beast mode mixed martial arts. A female Brock Lesnar. My only concern is if she'll push herself past what her body can take. I've done that. I've paid the price. And in how much she pushes herself, she hasn't ended up in a wheelchair. But she needs to be careful because by the time she's 40, her body could give out at the rate she trains. I hope and pray that doesn't happen. I try and get through to her on being able to slow down, relax. Kennedy, Buffy, the Vampire Slayer. Do I dare repeat what she had lived in her first role? I get what they were going for. She's a lot better without Willow. Having matured, gotten the bodyguard commando gig. Getting other Slayers in that line of work meant they wouldn't be homeless, doing drugs or turning tricks to get by. If the opportunity came up to take a role in Buffy, if it meant having to deal with Kennedy, if she was at her most vile, I would want to kill her. Or at least bash her. But yeah, I'd do it for damn sure. Hinagase. Ace Combat. The flight games I know are Afterburner. Gee, fuck. Not this Ace Combat thing. So when I was shown it and was told that she has my name and she's the hero, I thought that was interesting. Key story. Let's see if I have this right. She wants to break her pussy off on you, the player Blaze. The game treats Blaze as male. Brittany was brought in on that project, the idea being what if Blaze was a woman. But no, I can't say I know it. That doesn't stop Natoli from playing with the idea of getting me involved in some fan project for it. Kim Possible. Kimberly Ann Possible. Kim Possible. This should have been huge, a lot bigger than it was. When the series ran, Disney had a limit, so it didn't get as popular as the Mouse, or it didn't stagnate like Long Runners or something. What did I think of Kim? When she wasn't up herself, and it happened, she was alright. Maybe if the show was a little more mature? Lily, Skyrim. Don't know her, except for her cool getup. She's supposed to be a courier in the game, but I hadn't seen her. Seems out of place for the game. When we had the match, I asked about it. So I'm told she's a beast in combat, protective, slightly arrogant, which has me curious as to just how she's meant to fit in. Millie Fanny Fan. Wonder how many months she'd laugh at 2K giving her that name, then not allowing it to be used. Orlando Performance Center. The ultimate wrestling fan, to maybe a disturbing level. Like she's going to fuck the next grappler she sees. And you kind of not want it to be you. Wrestling fans can get like that. They shouldn't. It happens. And maybe they shouldn't be given any slack for it. Maybe Millie shouldn't be given any slack for it. Mina Krysa, Ohio Valley Wrestling. Major Mina Krysa, of Uncle Sam's Misguided Kids. She's an actual Marine, gives input into doing a Sergeant Slaughter-style gimmick. Make it real. The Gordon Ramsay of the Corps. Done know about wrestling. I met her some 10 years ago. It was too late for me to make a career change. But had I had the chance, Mina thought I would have been great there. It would never happen. My father taught me at a young age not to go there. Military or police, not a path to take. Nancy Arthur, Louisiana State Wrestling. Nancy's a former spy, soldier, pilot, Afghanistan and Iraq veteran. She worked for Blackwater, those mercenaries that murdered for oil or whatever it was that got them in the real deep shit. Adopted a September 11 orphan. So, she's what to me? This was after she served in Iraq, right? Nancy got wind of the tribute to the troops shows that were done and wanted a home version so her kid could watch. It was me, some local talent, some pros we could get in. Reiko Hinomoto was there. There was a union dress-up. They really went all out. Natali Tarin, Full Metal Wrestling. Natalie's what? Third tallest woman in the world right now. Biggest woman in wrestling. Her sheer athleticism at that size. The strength that comes with that size. Forget all that for a moment. Natalie, I think, really gets it. She brought in a gimmick that should have flopped and lived it. She got the warrior princess over. Natalie is always looking at ways to refine her character. New characters she could play if she was to change. Far as being able to get over what should be silly, Natalie may be the smartest on the roster. Petya Tylerovich, New York State Championship Wrestling. It was honestly an honor working with Petya. She immigrated from Ukraine in 2007, joined the fire department New York, Manhattan's legendary ladder, 18. She has a legitimate fighting background, boxing skills. Real athletes can have trouble transferring those skills to the ring safely as they are meant for, go rather than show. She was able to pull her punches, work to putting on an entertaining match rather than legitimately win a physical contest. Rachel Foley, Resident Evil. Which one? We have the pessimistic bio-counter-terrorist Rachel, the monster girl trying to kill you Rachel, and the bubbly fun Rachel. I get the appeal, but they sexed her up to an absolutely absurd level. I get a tickle out of gamers wanting some hot girl chasing them. Well, here's Rachel and she wants you bad. Aside from when you play as her, she's pathetic. We're meant to feel sorry for her. I do feel sorry for her. I do feel bad. But they went way overboard with sexing her up. Rebecca Chambers, Resident Evil. If it hadn't been for wrestling, then I could well have been a real-life Rebecca. That's how invested I was with the games, and this was before the remake fixed most everything that fans hated her for. That Dana Scully kind of gig, but more, I dunno, fun. Rebecca could legitimately save the world. You have Jill, Claire, Leon, Chris, whoever, stop a outbreak. Rebecca's medical, scientific knowledge, far greater than I could ever hope for, could stop all outbreaks. Maybe even COVID. Plus we already have a real Dr. Redfield. How cool would it be to also have Professor Chambers? Bonus round. Reckoning, all elite wrestling. Interesting outfit, terrible on the nose gimmick. Specific demands were made on not jobbing to her. Little did I realize that it was actually Mia Yim under the mask. Well, that's a different story entirely. That changes things. I'd still fight Reckoning if it wasn't her, but seeing as it was, we brought out the Antifa outfit and we had ourselves a match. Without going into Antifa, using it to get over completely buried the stable. Red Liddell, Wichita Falls Independent Wrestling. Unashamed female Undertaker. Female Mark Calloway too, actually. Red has such incredible poise and professionalism at such a young age. I don't know about an interest in motorcycles. Red is simply amazing in and out of the ring. If she could get the blessing to adopt the Undertaker gimmick, I can see this getting so over, especially with her at the helm. Even with the blatant gimmick infringement and rip-off. Ayanami, Evangelion. I hate this fucker. For those who don't know, she's this big stereotype on suicidal Japanese girls. The pessimistic, submissive girl catered to appeal to men who can't get a partner. A real messed up version. So why bring her up? Simple. She's an influence, a motivator. Ray makes me work to be everything she's not. The anti-Ray. Cunts who want to top themselves annoy the fuck out of me. If I could, I'd kill them, bring them back as a zombie and kill them again. Riko Hinomoto. Rumble Roses. I first met the girl playing this role at that event that was done for Nancy. She could have been huge. She was in fact either an influence on Kana, Kanoko Uraye, or Reiko drew influence from her, as it was Riko and the Joshi Japanese wrestlers were a huge influence on me. I began taking on her look more. Style, drew positive influence from taking wrestling with the seriousness she did. Taking what she did and making it my own. When there was no more wrestling for Reiko, she let me take on the name. So I very much try and honor what she did. Try and do what she could have, but better. Reiko Nagase, Ridge Racer. Ridge Racer and the Fast and Furious were what got me into cars. Interest in racing. The world went crazy over Reiko Nagase's to the point where when she wasn't in the game, interest dried up. I confess this happened to me too. I focused on wrestling more. I still like the games I played, still see something in Reiko that appealed. Between her and Riko Hinamoto, I was happy to take the name for wrestling. Sion Nina, Soul Calibur. I played the second game on GameCube when it came out. I had that in Resident Evil 4 on the road, played through, unlocked her, and thought she was awesome. And a little scary. How she focused on the groin, using that big knife to stab the groin. She and Sophitia, I think they were partners. Sophitia was worse. She used her groin to attack. Forced cunnilingus, that's sexual. And sexual assault. Shandi, Saints Row. Someone showed me the game, showed me the default character you could make up. The default voice. First I asked why I was in a Grand Theft Auto game. Then I tried it. Basically putting me in the game had me more invested in gaming than I had been for a while. And we did this wrestling tribute to Saints Row, like how they paid tribute to professional wrestling. Thankfully, the girl playing Shandi was far less bitchy than the one in the game. Shiva Aloma, Resident Evil. Shiva is like the biggest hero in the series, directly responsible for killing basically the Osama bin Laden of biological terrorism. Saved the world, even if some thought that was not how it should have happened. Working with someone playing the biggest hero in the game I play and love. Absolutely, I'm in. Tanaka Mariko, Spirit, Wing Commander. This came about, Natoli tells me, from another game she was in. Too many name drops and references to be a coincidence, so she says. Then someone made up a current or updated model for her. I should hate her like I hate Rei, but being shown a playthrough of the game, Mariko has more of a personality than I want to kill myself. Cian Mei, Dead Island. Goddamn, the trailer for this game, so fucking not cool. The promotion for this game, being focused on wrestling, I missed it, then Riptide got my attention. I almost stopped gaming for good because of what was coming out then. Like I said, discussing Harlow Exian is cliché, and kind of like Ada Wong. But she fights zombies so she gets a pass.